Hello there, everybody. We're going to be looking at September from Pisces all the way to Leo. So, this is part two of the all signs. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to begin with Pisces, of course. And it's going to be an eclipse season, lots of interesting celestial events going on this month. Also, we'll be going into fall. So, let's begin. Pisces, we're going to first pull from the Moonology cards just because this is going to be eclipse season. Let's see what they have, what messages we have for you. Alright, so we have don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. I can't remember who else got this, but there's something about sometimes maybe we need to ask for help. Sometimes we need more than what we currently have, and we're scared to admit that, whether that be to ourselves or to others. Sometimes we are scared to do certain things because our pride gets in the way, right? So we're going to pull some cards, see what maybe this has to do with. But the first thing we're going to look at is what's coming towards you that you're not aware of. Any kind of surprises that might be happening in the month of September. Okay, now what do you need to release in the month of September? You got two cards, okay. And any messages from your spirit guides, anything or any advice that they may have over the situation? It's too many cards, sorry. I hear just do it. Just do it. Don't let your pride get in the way. Just do it. All right. So, surprises or what you're not expecting. We have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, you could be moving, you could be traveling. There could be an unexpected invitation from somebody coming towards you. Maybe to help end some conflict. Now, that could be why this don't let your pride get in the way is here, because of the fact that with the Six of Swords, it's like moving past conflict. And sometimes in our lives, we have things that we either don't want to acknowledge within ourselves that maybe we were wrong too, or everybody plays their own role in miscommunication, conflict. So I do feel there's a chance to overcome some sort of conflict in the month of September for you. I split the clarifying deck to the Nine of Cups and the Sun. So I do feel whatever is headed your way is full of a lot of enlightenment, truth, clarity, something that you've been wishing for, wanting for, something that will make you really happy in a personal level. But let's get some clarifiers as to what this is. Okay, so what is coming towards you? I feel it's something that you've been waiting for. You've been sitting in this hangman state, maybe even a little protective of it, or protective of yourself, right? Maybe the conflict had to do with maybe a misunderstanding. So I feel like whatever's coming towards you is like an apology after a long awaited time. Spirit saying keep your boundaries in place, make sure that you're looking at the situation from all sides. The hangman is a very unprideful energy. This is looking at the circumstances from all angles, right? From your part, their part, whatever this is. And I feel like the surprise that's coming is going to help you to move past something. I don't know what exactly you're moving past, but I do feel like it's something you've been wanting. You've been wanting either closure, A chance to talk about it, a chance to share your emotions, your feelings. Um, I would say make sure don't have your guard up too high. Just make sure that, you're able to look at the circumstances from all sides. Now, what do you need to release? We've got the Hermit and the Death card. Now, you could have been sitting in hermit mode for a while, and a lot of times the hermit is associated with Virgo season, and we are in Virgos. Happy birthday to the Virgos. But maybe it's been like a long time coming that you needed to either be reborn into something, into your new self, or it's time to show the world the new you. What you've learned during this season. Because the death card isn't just about laying something down, leaving something behind. It's about giving it the energy, or the giving it the freedom to move, right? Because a lot of times we'll hold on to something so tightly that the energy has no place anymore to move. So with letting it go, surrendering it, right? And like separating yourself from it helps things to be reborn. So I do feel that this month is going to be a season of either reigniting something that has been separated from you, or reigniting that the new version of yourself, that what you learned, all the brightness that you gained in the midst of the hermit mode. But let's get some clarifiers and see, what is this about? What were you in hermit mode for? What does this death card have to do with? Okay. So I feel like the main thing is this probably has to do with the connection of yours. Connections could be family, friends, um, any kind of loved one, you know. And whatever it was, it took you a lot to put this down, right? It took you a lot to realize, like, this isn't bringing me what I thought it was going to bring me. This makes me sad, right? The situation that it is, the past sucked. But what I'm getting is, it's like taking the truth from that and realizing, like, bonds don't just disappear. I feel like you still have a connection to this person. Um, Even though you may have felt like it's over and done with, we haven't talked, there's no communication, there's still some kind of telepathic communication between the two of you. You could be dreaming of this person lately. I do feel like they want to have a conversation, possibly an apology over hurting your feelings or disappointing you in some type of way. So, awesome. Now, I don't encourage you to, get back with somebody that treated you poorly, talked to you horribly, any kind of abusive situation or anything like that. But I think you two are of like mind. And so maybe this is like putting closure to it. This is having it be reborn in a different way, because it seems like there's been a lot of time and space in between this. I would say even up to a year, or close to a year, that the two of you have had like a real conversation about this. Could have happened last fall. And now, there's this want to come back together and at least make amends, come full circle. So the advice from Spirit, we've got the Eight of Wands, and that is like open communication, that's movement, that's getting out of that hermit mode, that stuck feeling of, you know, separation from the world in itself. So let's see what your spirit guides want you to either move through, or what's coming towards you, or what do you need to know about the Eight of Wands? So this could come from somebody fired up, wanting to start something again with you. But I feel like you've been in two minds about this for a while. And the only thing that's missing here is you making a choice. Because if you add the Two of Wands plus the Four of Wands, is the Six of Wands, right? And that's victory and success. So whoever this is passionate person, they want something secure and stable with you, but you're kind of at that crossroads. Do I want to go back? Do I want to go forward? And Spirit's kind of giving you the nudge, like, at least have a conversation, at least, express your truth about, I want something that's secure and stable. I don't want somebody that's wishy-washy. I don't want somebody that comes in one day and says, I want you, and then I don't, the next day. So I feel like Spirit's saying, give it a chance. Because just as much as you've grown, there's a chance that the person attached to you has grown as well. So, Spirit's giving you like the thumbs up. Go ahead. At least you'll know, kind of thing. But let me pull some love cards and kind of to close it out and see what exactly we've got here in a current connection that you have, or even one that's coming towards you. Okay, well, there's a lot. Alright, so we've got limitations and fears. Now, what I feel like is, okay, so what I'm getting in the past is like, you've limited yourself to your comfort zone, right? And the Hermit mode might be your comfort zone. But with Pluto, the transformation, I also feel it's a lot like the Death card is like looking at the shadow of it. Like, you stayed in a comfort zone or clinging to a comfort zone because you didn't want to step outside of your fears to see what would happen. So this is a time to lay down the fear. It's a time to step boldly into what it is you want. And that could even be what this King of Wands, Two of Wands is like, make a decision. Whatever decision, like if you're fired up about a project, something you want to do, it's not time to sit in between the fence. It's time to get out and put it out there. Because what's the worst that could happen, right? It's better than sitting there and letting your fear, keep you limited from success, prosperity, the things that are meant for you. And then we have the courage for change. And again, this is the change. This is you coming out of Hermit. It's like you're ready to go now. Don't let your pride get in the way. Pride has a lot to do with fear as well. It's like, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be let down. So I'll stay in this comfort zone forever, right? But Spirit's saying it's time to get rid of that. So for my dearest Pisces, it looks like there are some things coming towards you in the month of September that are either going to like reignite something or give you a chance to make closure with it. I also feel there's something that you're going to get really excited about this month. It could have to do with love. It could have to do with a job opportunity, some kind of passion project. And Spirit's saying, go for it. They're giving you the green light. Don't let your fear keep you from playing the game. It's time to get out. It's time to explore. It's time to see what life has to offer you now that you've gone inside and kind of looked at what you really wanted. We're willing to let go of the things that were hard for you to let go of. And fall is the season of, most of the time getting rid of the old and, letting it transform in some sort of way. So a lot of transformative energy for you, for sure. So I'm going to shuffle these back in, and then we're going to move on to Aries. But let me shuffle these back in before I timestamp Aries. It looks like a good month, Pisces. I love y'all so much. My A-team, my fellow fishies. It looks like a good month for you. And I feel you getting a lot of fire this month, so beautiful. All right, so Aries, we are going to start you at 1430 Aries. All right. So my Aries, again, if you've watched any of the previous readings, we're going to start with this Moonology deck because of all the eclipses that are happening. See if there's an overall message for you for the month of September. Okay, we have take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. I think a message behind that is a lot of times like when we're in a state of anxiety is what I'm kind of feeling from you. Maybe you've been in a state of anxiety. And a lot of times we'll hold our breath without even realizing it, right? And we breathe in and we release to kind of push out any negativity. We're pushing out anything that's stagnant in the body. So maybe you need to learn to do some breath work or something like that, because I do feel some sort of tension, some sort of need to release what either no longer serves you, or to get control of being able to kind of transmute an energy. So let's say you breathe in love and then you exhale negativity, anxiety. And it does help. I swear by meditation and breath work, because it does help a lot. However, when I first started meditating, the first time I meditated, I thought I was going to die, because I had to be in control so much that it just left me in a place of panic. So it did the opposite at first, but once I got used to it, it worked a lot. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at what is coming towards you that you may not be aware of, what kind of surprise could possibly happen during the month of September. And we're going to get one card for that, or two cards for that. Okay, now we're going to look at what do we need to release for the month of September, and what is the advice from Spirit for the month of September. Okay, so we're going to start with what surprises are coming. What I'm getting is, intuitively you may feel there's a change on the horizon. You know that you've aligned with something great, you've aligned with something good, but you haven't seen it actually come into fruition. And so what I'm getting is like something that you've just kind of always known was going to change. Something you've always known had the possibility of coming full circle. Or you could feel something turning right in your life. You're just not sure what it is yet. So we're going to get some clarifiers, kind of look and see like what exactly is this. I think you're still going to be taken by surprise, even though part of you says, I've known this was coming for a while. What is coming towards my Aries for the month of September? Okay. So what I'm getting is you've kind of been in this place of you were confused around something. Something was, unseen, but you've taken time away from it to kind of look at it from a different lens. And this is a lot of Pisces energy. We have 1, 2, 3 that Pisces is associated with. And so you might be dealing with a Pisces, or you may be tapping into a new way of looking at things, right? I feel like this month, the surprise that's coming is this Ace of Wands. So a new beginning in something. Something that has been on hold. Something that has kind of been in the shadows. Something that, like I said, I think you've known for a while is coming. And I feel like it's going to bring you outside of being in this, I feel a very intuitive phase, tapping into spirit more. Maybe you've been kind of like, I'd say kind of wobbling in between the ethereal realm and 3D a lot. Maybe you're feeling kind of disconnected because, you've been so in tune with spirit. But what it's saying is like there's this new beginning that you felt was coming, and you've had some space from. So, and it looks like a lucky turn. I do feel. This could also mean like you're set free. The truth will set you free. Like the truth comes in and it sets you free to move freely now. The moon can be a very disorienting state too, because it's the unknown. And that could be why it's saying like you need to breathe out. You need to Release that. But anyway, so what are you needing to release? And we have the Empress. This could be like a mother wound. This could be, maybe you don't feel like you embody the Empress, right? Maybe you feel that, I feel like it's the month to really tap into knowing who you are, releasing the things that keep you from being an empress or an emperor, whether you're male or female, doesn't really matter. Let me get some clarifiers. Okay. So what I'm getting is you've been kind of going back and forth in between, how do I move on from here? Where do I go from here? How do I... Because I feel like with this Empress, especially with these clarifiers, this is you've created something. That could be a new project. That could be like a platform. This can be anything, right? You've created something. But you've been going back and forth. Like, what do I do with it? Should I release it? Should I put it out there? Should I go for it? And Spirit's saying, it's not a time to, question this. It's a time to go. It's a time to release the fear. It's a time to release the anxiety. Just do it. Because with this page, even though you may be new at it, you may not have all the answers yet, they'll come. A lot of things come in time, and you may learn as you do this. So it's time to really put yourself out there. Show the world the real you. Quit hiding the Empress within you, the creativity within you, the projects that you have, that type of thing. Now, advice from Spirit, we have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is like, I'm just bored with life. Like, the past didn't work out, and I'm too scared to grab this cup up here because of what happened before. I feel you've just been in a state of apathy. Like, if it's not my past, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like, if it's anything like my past, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And so you've kind of been stuck. You've been like ruminating over the past. You've been ruminating over what didn't work. And now it's time to like grab a hold of this cup, because Spirit's saying King of Pentacles, Emperor, Three of Pentacles. For me, this is not only is the Emperor a match to your Empress, but this is also like you are the boss of your own life, right? No matter if you have somebody to work on things with you, I do see a strong collaboration here that could be towards this project. Maybe you felt like, if I can't do it with them, then I don't want to do it at all, right? And Spirit's like, you could do it all by yourself. You don't need anybody else to validate that what you have to say or what you have to put out is worth seeing. I do feel that during the month of September, you are going to recognize that the things that you've been creating or co-creating are about to pay off really big. But you have to go into it with the mindset of, no matter who's with me or against me, I'm the boss of this show. I'm the one that controls my destiny. And I can't let somebody else be the reason why I'm doing something, because that's kind of an illusion that we create for ourselves, and it gives us an excuse to be stuck, basically. And I know you don't feel like being that anymore, because I do see you moving forward here, whether that be in your business, creative endeavor, whatever inspires you, and maybe you want to inspire others as well. We're going to get a couple love messages before we move on to Taurus. Let's see, what messages do we have? The song Mind Reader is on right now. Maybe you have a connection that you're just almost like a mind reader. Whatever they say, or you almost know what they have to say before they say it. I feel like you're gaining some kind of clarity around this connection. I do feel it's a time to nurture it with assistance from the spirit guides. And because it's so ethereal, you may not even need to actually hands on nurture. But by nurturing yourself, if you're connected to another person, you nurture them as well. So it's like it's a time to really tap in and connect with that person. Or maybe this is about the person coming back around. You know, your spirit guides are trying to bring the two of you back together. And it's a time to really nurture it. It's not a time to pick it apart, to try to see what's wrong with it. How could things be better? It's just time to nurture and grow it. A lot of times we get stuck in all of the things they haven't done right. But who's to say what's right? You know, every relationship is different. Unless they're just outright abusive or treating you poorly, yes, of course, you know, that's a reason to stay away from it. But I don't see that in this reading. That I honestly feel like you and your person are going to have something to work on together this month. Whether that be bringing this connection back together, nurturing it, or building something together. But yeah, I'm going to shuffle these back. And my dear Aries, it looks like it's going to be a very transformative month for you. Looks like you're going to get some things going if you follow the advice of the guides. You know, it's time to actually breathe. Quit thinking of all of the reasons why something can't happen and start thinking about all the things that are coming towards you. You know, think more positive. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Taurus. Alright, my dear Tauruses, we're going to pull a Moonology card for you. Let me write this down, 2710. Alright, Taurus. We're going to pull a Moonology card for an overall feel for what September is bringing towards you. You got full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. And since it's your moon, I feel like there's a lot of things you want to do, but you've got to pick one and you've got to ground yourself into it. You know, a lot of times we get these lofty ideas, and sometimes we have to figure out, like, maybe we need to be a little more practical in the way that we implement them. I know you Tauruses can be a little hard-headed, a little stubborn. I love y'all, but it's true. I feel like your fear keeps you from really sticking to something, because maybe you start with this grandiose plan, right? And when it doesn't work right away, you're like, fuck this, I'm done, right? And so Spirit's like, no, just make a practical plan of how you can do this, you know, how you can invest into your future. But let's see. The first thing is we're going to pull a card for what you don't see coming for this month, or what kind of surprise is coming. And now we're going to pull a card to see what you need to release. All right, now number 3, what guides does your spirit or what advice does your spirit guides have right now? Okay. So, what you don't see coming. 9 of Swords. Gemini energy. There could be some anxiety around maybe like we were talking about, your idea or your dream, right? Because it's not working out, you're a little stressed out. You're like, damn, I really invested myself into this. Damn, I'm stressed. I'm up at night. I'm thinking about all of the things I could have done right. I could have, fixed. What's funny is what you're releasing is judgment. And a lot of times the 9 of Swords comes out of judgment, whether it's things people say to you, things you think about yourself, etc. So the 9 of Swords to me is like, yeah, you might have some sleepless nights in September, but if you could just use, instead of stressing, make a practical plan about something, about how you can fix it, how you can ease those thoughts, maybe do some writing, do some meditation, make a practical plan. It'll help you to get all of the ideas from swarming around in your head and like put them down to help to solve what it is that's stressing you out. So let's see what the Nine of Swords is about. 66 can be important, or 966 can be important. Okay. I feel you might be feeling the return of something, right? Maybe there was conflict behind it. And that's why maybe the Nine of Swords is here. Is like, can we bring this back to when things were sweet and good and uncomplicated? Is there a way we can bring it all back together? Like, what can we plan to make this better, right? And I think the best way to move past conflict is to really look at this situation practically, you know. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has their faults. But does that mean we stop loving them? No. So this is like bringing back the happy times, moving past the conflict into feeling more peaceful. And it could have to do with the fire sign. It could have to do with the passionate leader, right? This could also mean like maybe you've had a childhood dream and you've been stuck in this place of like trying to implement it and it hasn't been working. Putting that fire to it, right? Putting that practical plan. Just go for it. Just take all of those ideas, all the things you've gathered from before, and put it together. But the anxiety could also be somebody coming back around and you're not sure what to do with it. What's for your highest good? What, you know, what would be the best solution for that? But let's see what this Judgment. Why are we releasing the Judgment card? A lot of times the Judgment can also mean the return of something as well. So what I'm getting is there's a connection here. That there might have been some kind of separation. Like maybe a lot wasn't given to this. Maybe it was just a, you know, like a start of a relationship and then it got confusing. There was secrets. All of a sudden somebody disappeared. And they left you at this crossroads of like, should I wait for this person to come back or should I keep moving, right? And kind of what Spirit is saying, the best thing for you is to think about, could this person, if this person does return, could this person be your happily ever after? Could a person that would ghost you time and time again, or a person that didn't even respect you enough to tell you the reasons why, are they good enough for a 10 of Cups? And that's probably where the anxiety comes from, is like, should I reinvest into this? Can this person offer me what it is I'm looking for? Or should I release it, right? And I'm kind of getting the Judgment card here is like giving you that opportunity to either close out the discord between the two of you, or to bring something like all the secrets into the light and see if you could actually have a happily ever after with them. Regardless, you're destined for this, right? But this could also mean like learning the lesson from what's going on in the situation in order to make it a 10 of Cups, you know, bring clarity to it. So that way you at least know which way you're going. Is my happily ever after with you, or should I keep going and have happily ever after somewhere else? So the advice from Spirit, we have the Magician. The power is in your hands right now. And a lot of times we give our power away to others. Spirit's saying whatever you want, you have all the tools necessary in order to do it. It's a very magic energy. It's a very much, probably a great time for you to manifest. We are in an earth sign energy right now, and a lot of times earth signs kind of work together in order to complete something. Because the Magician is also, it's Gemini and Virgo energy. It's implementing the things that we know we want and put them into place, manifestation. Let's see what this Magician is for you. Again, okay. So not only do we have the Queen of Wands, which is the match to the King of Wands, we have the Knight of Swords and the Judgment card. Even though the two of you do show up as almost like a twin flame divine couple, it's like there's conversations that need to be had. There's things that need to be hashed out. Because again, the Judgment card is like them returning. Spirit's saying you have all the tools you need to know what you need to do with this. I would say if it does come back, you do need to speak directly and, you know, almost tell them with the Judgment card, you know, I don't appreciate X, Y, Z. You know, if you can't show me that you're going to be a stable partner for me, then regardless of how much the two of us are aligned, we've got to, you know, separate. Or if you can, then we can do this, but it's got to be like a make it or break it type of thing. Now, I'm going to pull some love cards because your reading happened to be a lot about a connection, more so than actual, you know, like business, money. But let's see. A lot of the readings up until this point have been about letting go of things, and that could be because it's fall season. You know, we're changing over, the dead leaves are dying. So this could be like, you know, having to shed an old person or reignite it in some way, change it. All right. Well, that's interesting. All right, so we have rebirth in the winter. Kind of looks like a crystal ball. This is something you've wanted. We've got the Ace of Wands here. Reignition, melting the cold ice. So this connection could be cold right now. We have the masculine showing up with his abs out and whatnot. This could be your person. This could be this person. This situation is going to be reborn come the winter time. We're just moving into fall, but maybe fall is aligning this person to become that masculine that you need. So very interesting, very interesting. And it could mean like this is your you dream of being with this person. But it needs a practical plan. You need to know, like, is this person worth investing in? Is this person going to show up for you? Is this just a glitch? You know, maybe, you know, like I said, everybody does make mistakes. They do falter at times. And I'm not here to judge right from wrong or anything like that. But you never want to tolerate things, because the more that you tolerate them, the more that a person will feel that they can treat you that way. And it just gets worse. So if they do come back, what I will say is, like, it's time to really make a decision what's best for you. The choice is ultimately in your hands at this point. I do feel there are good memories attached to this as well. So it could be worth exploring. The song that's playing right now you might want to listen to is Can a Heart Take by Warren Zeders. You might want to listen to it. It might be relevant to the messages. But anyways, my dearest Tauruses, you know I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know if it resonated. And I will see you in the next one. Alright, now we're going to move on to Gemini. 39, 37 Geminis. Alright, let's see, Geminis. What is this overall message for your reading? being that it is eclipse season, we are going into fall. What message do you need for the month of September? You got a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. Fiery can mean a lot of things, right? Fiery can mean like, fiery climax, right? Or it can mean that there's something in your life that has just been hard. It's like being under fire. It's like it's become too much, right? Like a boiling pot about to boil over. But with that, it catches your attention. It's something to close. It's like the end of a tough cycle almost, I feel. Or it can be a fiery climax, like something that needed to come back together to have that incredible come together or whatever. Never mind. Anyways, so we're gonna pull a card to see what surprises are coming, what could be this fiery climax, what you don't see coming. Pull a card for that. All right, now let's pull a card for what do you need to release, and any advice from Spirit for your greatest and highest good. All right. Okay. I feel that a lot of people have been wanting your attention or needing your attention. And you've been on this pathway of like trying to level up. And not that you're above anybody else or they're below you in like an egotistical way, but vibrationally maybe you've been trying to do better. You're trying to be better. But there's a lot of energy that's pulling you, trying to get you to come back down the stairs. Come back down here. It's warm down here, And so you may have been feeling some sort of pressure as far as from the outside world. You've grown past things. Maybe you've grown past people, but you're still being kind of like tested. Like you made it this far. Are you going to go back down? Are you going to, so what you don't see coming is there could be a lot of people pulling on your energy, needing things from you, wanting things from you. And Spirit's like, you need to keep going. You need to, because a lot of times we'll go forward and then we'll go like 10 steps backwards, and Spirit's like, don't do it. So what advice, what other clarifiers do we have? Okay, so the song playing right now is Walk on Water by Eminem and Beyonce. I'm kind of getting Spirits like, just hold off, don't say anything. If these people come at you, you're in the process of healing. Be patient with yourself. Temperance to me also is like, if you do something, do it in moderation. But with the Four of Pentacles, it's like, hold tight to your ideas. Hold tight to where you're going. What you're wanting is coming towards you, and it may be a very quiet time for you with the High Priestess. Hold your vision, right? Because a lot of times we want to tell people our ideas. We want to tell people where we're going, where we're headed, what our accomplishments are. And Spirit's like, you don't need to do that. As long as you know it for yourself, as long as you know that you made it this far, just keep going. Don't get distracted by the outside world. I do feel you're growing a more spiritual connection, possibly to a person or to the universe itself. I feel like you're coming into alignment. I feel a very peaceful energy. Maybe you haven't had a lot of peace in your life, and so this is like a very peaceful time. Or maybe something is coming, so you're holding tight to that vision. And with that fiery climax approaches, it looks like you're getting pretty close to it. Now, Six of Swords, what does this mean? This could be moving. Maybe it's time to move away from a certain place, move away from certain conflicts in your life. The advice would be to wherever you go, make sure that you're not leaving behind a mess. Basically, you're growing past the mess. I guess you could, that would be more accurate. Okay. It's funny because we have the Three of Cups, the Hermit, and the Ten of Pentacles. This gives me like hold your vision. Three of Cups could be friends, family, but this can also mean like partying. You could have had a tendency to, you know, go out there and shoot a few bag, drink too much, you know, other things or whatever. And Spirit's like, I feel you separated yourself from that. You want the bigger vision, which is the Ten of Pentacles. You want it all. You want everything. You want to take over the world. So Spirit's like, maybe you need to release some friends, some bad influences. Maybe time to move past the conflict. There could be people in your life that have caused nothing but conflict, and it's time to really, you know, that fiery climax, like once and for all, just, I'm not there anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Like with love, you know, like with love, but I can't. I've got bigger things on my mind. I got money on my mind. I got family on my mind. I got whatever on my mind. I don't have time to engage with you bobbleheads over here, you know. But it does feel like it could have a lot to do with the distractions. It's like, you know, good looking men, good looking women, you know, teases and things that tempt you. A lot of temptations this month. Now, Ace of Swords. Why is this advice from Spirit? Oh, my ear keeps ringing. Ace of Swords. Okay. Spirit's basically saying you need to accept the truth that for a long time you've done things that maybe you're not proud of. And that could have been a lot of reasons why you didn't move towards things that it's almost like there were certain things that you really, really wanted, but you never took action on because you knew there was a part of yourself that would just destroy it. With the Devil and the Knight of Wands, like, yeah, you maybe in the past you were reckless. Maybe you indulged in the earthly things or whatever. And Spirit's like, you know, the choice is up to you. Do you want to live like this? Were you happy in this? Were you happy settling for being a bottom feeder or never really building anything solid, you know? Because it's a very wishy-washy energy, and Spirit's like, you got to accept the truth that yes, maybe at one time you were this. Take into accountability. Yeah, maybe one time I was that. But I'm the only one that keeps me in this position. And it's kind of time to accept the truth. Yes, that's who I was, but it's not who I am anymore. I feel like you're on a new adventure now, you know, but you have to, it's almost like you've got to give yourself grace. You've got to cut yourself away from that past version of yourself because that's not who you are. It's something that you told yourself you were for a very long time. But as I can see, you've got this in your future. You're connected now. You've healed that part of yourself that said you'll always be this. No, you're not. You take this sword and you cut it out. You know, I might have been that way, but I'm not that person anymore. You know, so I feel like when you come out of this hermit mode, this place of looking at the shadows of what you've done, you'll start to realize like there still is a bright future for you. It's coming. A fiery climax approaches. And that can mean in anything, right? Love, money, abundance, whatever makes you feel. Alright, so let's get some messages here. I did have twin flames and deception at the bottom. So this could have to do with a connection that you've considered to be like a soulmate. There could have been some lies and deception surrounding it. Maybe one or both of you didn't admit, like, the feelings that you two had for each other. Like I said, could have been something that you knew you would mess up if you took the opportunity to do it, you know, but could have just been like wrong time, wrong place. Again, we've got this Two of Wands, truth. Two of Wands, truth. Storm. I think there's something, and because it's love, there is a decision that's needing to be made here. Maybe it's time to express your truth. Even if, because I also feel there's somebody that needs to tell you the truth. Someone that needs to come in and conversate in order to make this decision a possibility, I guess. I feel like you've been in the rain for a minute, and so it's kind of hard to make a true decision. So maybe you've been apart from whatever this is. I feel like Scorpio season, there's going to be like a fiery climax. Unexpected, because I have storm, unexpected. That to me is like the Tower. Sometimes the truth is a hard thing to absorb, but I do feel somebody's coming in to tell you the truth about something, or to express their own truth about something. And it might rock you a little bit. Fiery climax, it can go either way. But at least you'll be able to make a decision which way to go. Because I feel like this is a decision that maybe you or them has been kind of stuck at for a while. But anyways, that's what I've got for you, my dearest Geminis. It looks like it's going to be a very interesting September. Y'all are going to have to come back and let me know what had happened in this situation. But it looks like you're headed towards some really great things, and as long as you can keep your head focused on the end game, where do you want to go, what do you see happening, I think everything is going to align for you. And sometimes, you know, our greatest healer is taking accountability for the things that we've done in life, you know, because I do see you kind of looking at yourself as like, man, I messed up so many times. I don't know if I can do that again, you know, and people are trying you, like, come on, you know you want to fight, you know you want to drink, you know you want to have one night stands, you know you want to do all of these things, and you're like, nah, I'm kind of over it, actually. You're like, I'm doing bigger and better things now. Like, if you want to talk about a business plan, you want to talk about having a better relationship, cool, but if you're just going to keep me stuck in a perpetual loop of nonsense, then I'm out. So, beautiful, my dearest Geminis. Now we are going to be moving on to Cancer. My beautiful Cancers. 1 second, Cancer. I'm going to put this card back in here. Timestamp you at 53 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright, Cancers. So we're going to start by pulling a Moonology card, being that it is eclipse season. The moon has a lot of power this month. Let's see what your overall energy is going to be for this month of September. Ooh, very watery energy. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. And we're going to have a full moon in Pisces this month. It's going to be a full moon eclipse. So it's actually gonna be a new moon and a full moon because it's gonna eclipse. Very ethereal type energy, and I know Cancers, y'all are all about the water and the love and all the good stuff, so maybe this is a time to really get into meditation and dreaming up new ideas. But we're gonna see, hold on, what's surprise, or what don't you see coming for the month of September that's coming in? Ooh, the Sun and the Lovers. Oh, all right. Now let's look at what do you need to release in the month of September. And what's advice from the Spirit? So first of all, surprise coming. Could be love, right? Somebody showing up. Some kind of truth regarding a connection that the two of you share. And this is probably my favorite lovers card ever, because there's only two people here. And then we have the swans, and you know the swans, they mate for life. And then there's the key that the Hierophant holds. One has one and one has the other. So it's like all coming together. And then their little hats even form a heart. So I feel like you might be meeting the one, or just a very happy time in a relationship or a connection. Now, Four of Wands. Wait, let me clarify this first. Ooh, this looks like the stars are aligning. We got the King of Pentacles, the Star, Six of Pentacles. This feels like karmic retribution. You're about to get everything. Well, maybe not everything. You know, some people take that way too literally. This is basically like you've been having a dream about that perfect partner, the one that gives you just as much as you give them. Six of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Sun. It's almost like this is like a fated meeting. So you might actually meet the one, or somebody in this collective that's watching this might actually meet the one. Or could be a return of the one. You got the stars, the sun. The only thing missing is the moon. But Cancers are the moon, right? So we got them all. Universal alignment. Now, why are we releasing the Four of Wands? This could literally just mean like you're needing to move. You're releasing an old version of what you thought was security, what you thought was home. But I think it's more of you've been waiting for something for a long time that's been blocked off to you. And your fear has kept you from like moving forward. Because I got 7-7. And then we have the Two of Swords and the outcome too. So it's like there's been a blockage here. And I think it's because you've been waiting on something. You've kind of been deceiving yourself. Delusional, right? Could be why the Four of Wands is here. Is because at one time you felt like this was everything to you. Everything. Like it was the house, the home, the kids, fireworks, two of you coming together. But it was kind of like deceptive. So this could be like the illusion is finally being broken. You're releasing the illusion that someday, somehow, you and a certain individual would come back together and get married, right? And with the sun coming out over the Lovers, that's showing you that this is what you've been calling in. And it's time to release this so that you can have this. Because you can't have two, right? You've got to pick one. And so, let's see why the Two of Swords is here. Because I feel like the blockage has been a lot of fear and waiting on, like, the wrong things. Okay. To clarify the Two of Swords, we've got the Three of Swords, the Two of Wands, the Six of Cups. I feel like you've been in a loop, possibly with a past person. Somebody you did, yes, you had a lot of good memories with, but you also had a lot of painful memories with them. And they've kind of kept you at this Two of Wands, Two of Swords, two, you know, 2 can be significant. You might be seeing that a lot, even 22. But what Spirit is saying is like, you've elevated during this wait. You've elevated even though you haven't made the decision to end it, right? And it's like, take account to how far you've come and protect that, right? And I kind of feel like there's a revelation around a situation, and I think it kind of blows apart these other things that have kept you stuck. Because I do feel you've been waiting, possibly on the perfect man, or waiting on the perfect woman, the perfect situation. And that's where the lie comes in, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. Even if you two match, even to, like a great relationship doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Like, there's no perfect. And so maybe that's where it's kind of like stripping away the illusions that have kept you stuck. Because this looks perfect to me, but maybe your perfect looks different than the way that you envisioned it, right? All right, so to close it off, we are going to pull some love cards. And I feel like there's a clear choice to be made here, especially because the Lovers is a choice, and you got a lot of twos. So let's see. Okay. You've been limited by rejection, loss, fragmentation. Your thoughts have kept you isolated, and I think this is like that Two of Swords. This to me also is like calling back those parts of yourself you gave away. Don't let the fear of what happened in the past, the rejections, the losses, your thoughts even, keep you from moving forward. And that's the main message here all around. Y'all's reading was really short, but at the same time it got the message across. It looks like there's a revelation around the one this month, and whoever the one is, y'all gonna have to let me know. Put it in the comments. You know, I am nosy, and I would love to hear all about it, especially if it's like you've been waiting for somebody and then you meet somebody and they're so different than the way you expected something to be, but it's so perfect for you, and you're like, I know that was only God, I know that was the universe working in my favor. Because I feel like a very strong, like, karmic retribution, like karmic justice coming your way. But it's like it wakes you up at the same time. Because maybe you've been asleep, dreaming about, like, all the wrong things. And then the right thing comes along and you're like, damn, I wasted all that time thinking it was going to be this. And this is even better. So I love it for you, my dearest Cancers. I'm shuffling them back in, and we're going to do the last one, which is my dearest Leos. Gotta love the Leos. Alright, a couple more shuffles here. But thank you for watching, Cancers. Let me know what's going on. What is this about? Because it looks really great. And y'all are going to have to let me know. Alright. So, Leos, we're going to put you at 103. Okay, Leos. Welcome. Last but not least, my dearest Lions. Alright, so I'm going to pull a Moonology card to get an overall energy for what's coming during this eclipse season. What do you have to look forward to? What to expect? We've got you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Maybe you've been feeling uneasy about a situation. Maybe you've been fearing, like, you know, what are you going to do from here? How, is your family going to be safe after X, Y, Z? And Spirit's telling you they are always safe and protected. So, side message. Alright. And this could even be loved ones that you're separated from or you're worried about. Just know they are safe. Alright, so we're going to pull a card to see what's coming towards you that you don't see. What kind of surprise might be coming. Alright. And what do you need to release? Somebody else got that. I think it was Aries. Now, messages from your spirit guides. Interesting. Alright, Seven of Pentacles normally means like patience. Something is growing. You've planted the seed, you've tended the seed, and it's about time for a harvest, right? So there might be some sort of harvest coming your way during fall. That's kind of perfect, right? But let's look. Maybe you're needing to have more patience. Things are coming, you maybe just not as fast as you want them to. Give me some clarifiers. So what I'm getting is, like, maybe there's been some sort of conflict. It could be around your finances, your home life, people in your life. And what Spirit's saying is, like, this manifestation for the better, for something new, for something that isn't so full of conflict is coming your way. The Six of Swords. Six of Swords is moving past the conflict. So you could be moving homes, moving jobs, something exciting, because we have the Fool, right? Full is that new beginning that you've been waiting for, the reaping of the rewards, kind of, moving past the conflict. Could be an actual move, could be a travel, maybe you're traveling somewhere. I just feel a lot of excitement is coming your way. You could feel it already, but just not know exactly what it is. Now let's check this Judgment out. Why are we releasing Judgment? Wrong deck. Sorry. Okay. The Judgment call is like almost like after the death and rebirth, right? That's the rebirth. It's standing before the Most High and being your authentic self, right? And what it's showing me is, like, who cares what anybody else thinks? The divine thinks you're perfect just the way you are. And it's time to let that true, authentic, silly, goofy, weird, whatever you call yourself, like I always say, like, let your freak flag fly, you know? Because people love that shit. They love it when you're authentic. They love it when you can be that truest version of yourself, right? And maybe you have been lately. Maybe you've been really embracing the parts of yourself that others might, you know, look down on or have criticized or whatever. It's like you're finally got the self-love, you've got that fire back, there's places that you're going now, and you don't care about the judgment anymore. You're like, I don't need to, I'm reborn, right? I laid it down, like I don't need to release it. I have released it, basically. Or this is the time of you truly coming into your own self. And they say the highest version or the highest frequency in the universe is authenticity. So you're aligning with probably great fortune, great love, the best of everything. Now, we have old Apple over here. What is he doing here? Why does Spirit decide that he needs to show up? He can represent temptation, fear. He can represent a lot, but let's see what he represents for you. Okay. I think this is the hardest part for you. Right? The old version of you kept you stuck at this crossroads because you knew you were doing stuff you shouldn't have done. You may have put yourself in places where you knew you were going to lose out. You may have done some dumbness, right? You may have done some bad things. And you may have had some sort of lack mentality as well. Because you've lost a lot too. But Spirit's saying it's time to choose this new path. Gemini had something similar to that as well. I think you need to hold your vision. Hold on to this beautiful energy here. Because if not, you're going to stay here. You're going to stay at the point of not feeling enough to embrace this lightning, this bold lightning. The crows are on this side, right? And the lightning is over here. Which side are you going to take? Which side is calling you? Do you want to go back to the past where you just live paycheck to paycheck? Do you want to have to save every last dime that you have because you rather play around than to like actually invest into something? And sometimes the Five of Pentacles is not self-imposed. It could be people taking from you. But a lot of times we're the ones to blame because we let people take from us, right? So I feel like you're truly coming into your own, and it's time to leave the past in the past, take the rear view off of your truck, go forward. No doubt, no fear. You are worthy. You've always been worthy, and you will forever be worthy. But you need to start reminding yourself, remembering that you are. Now, for some final messages, we're going to do some yin-yang love messages. I don't think this reading had much to do with love. It's more about, like, there's a new beginning for you. But in your true, authentic self. I don't know if love is involved or not, but we shall see. You might already have the love. Wow. All right. Action. Courage. Beginnings. The Fool card. That's what that gives me. And then we got self-worth and expectations. Judgment, right? You are choosing yourself. You're finally into being very proud of who you are. And then we have nurture and compassion. Nurture your inner child. Nurture yourself. There could be some new beginning that does take courage. It looks exciting to me. Nurture yourself if you start to have doubts, if you start to be fearful. Tell that inner child that, yes, what happened to you sucked, but we're going to make it better, right? Atonement is kind of the energy that I'm feeling with this. But it looks really good, and there is some new beginnings coming. So I am happy for you, my dearest Leos. I love y'all so much. Y'all already know. And y'all were the last sign. Thank you for being patient with me. Y'all know I love you so much. And I think that will be it. If you like the video, make sure to show your girls some love. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you in the next one. Besitos.